All right, welcome back. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Hit Subjective, where we hit the objective and manifest the goals and dreams that we truly aspire for. And of course, today we're going to be touching base on a very relative topic. I think something that we all experience, or we have all experienced, or will experience on our rise to our successes. And that really is bridging the gap, navigating the lonely in between for aspiring to your successes. And really and truly, this is something that we experience mainly directly after we have this epiphany or this revelation that we want to be better. We want our lives to be better. We want to increase the quality of life that we have. And that normally takes us into a point of loneliness to some degree, even a feeling of being lost because it seems very foreign to us. The sense of having this aspiration, whatever it may be, and not really necessarily being that aspiration. You're out of your shell. And a lot of the times it becomes very uncomfortable when you reach that point because things tend to change around you. The people change around you. Your perception of life in its entirety almost sometimes changes around you. And that could really create somewhat of a shock for the brain because again, our egos and certain things are not used to us taking control of our lives, and people around us aren't used to that, and it creates somewhat of a chaotic energy that creates that loneliness for us. It creates that sense of being lost for us, and that's fine because it really is just the order of how things are supposed to happen in a process. Out with the bad, in with the good. That's pretty much what you could align that with as an analogy. But to go deeper into this, I want to kind of dissect it a little bit better so we can understand that this is a pivotal part of your process of being successful. And then when I say being successful, I don't just mean financially successful. I would hope that, we would have, more or less risen over or beyond the semantics, and we understand that there's a deep message in everything. And I mean, again, just to go back to it, it really is pivotal in your life when it comes to you reaching these successes that you aspire for. I want to start with being kind to yourself. I mean, a lot of the times, it's almost as if people make it seem like you have to be like a drill sergeant to yourself. You have to be hard on yourself because that's the only way you'll instill these values in yourself. But the truth is, it's just like, hopefully how a parent should view their child, or how a lover should view their loved one, or a friend to a friend. You have to be kind to yourself. You're kind to your friends, you're kind to your lover, hopefully. You're kind to your child, hopefully. And I mean, that is what it ought to be. You have to be kind to yourself. You really have to understand that you are an ever-changing being, and that you have taken the onus on yourself to really create something different for your life. And that doesn't come easy. Like we said in the last video, starting is very hard. When you start something, it takes a lot from you, especially if you're going to put a lifetime of commitment into it. And if a lifetime of commitment results in your life increasing in its quality, I mean, that should really be an everyday life action for you. Everything you do should align with your life having much more quality at the end of the day. And so being kind to yourself is super important because you're going to find yourself messing up a lot of the times. You're not going to be on it like that's not how it works. It works on a basis of you having to procrastinate and go through all of these periods where you're not quite sure. Again, mainly because of that lonely in between, because you're not feeling that sense of belonging again, because again, you're leaping or transcending into another sense of self. And that could create some friction in your life, in your brain, in the energetic fields that you would have prior, in previous times, immersed yourself into. And that can create some friction for you, generally. Being kind to yourself really turns the friction down a notch. Because at the end of the day, this is a genuine action on your part. You're trying to be a better person. Let's just generalize it like that, right? I mean, whatever your aspirations are, you could specify them to yourself and use these guidelines, or use what I'm saying to try to navigate this better. Being kind to yourself will allow you a period of a breather. we sometimes need a breather. Something like you're at work, your boss is coming down your throat because you haven't met your targets, or whatever the case may be. Your girlfriend is coming down your neck because you didn't remember it was your anniversary. Your best friend told you something that you had to remember. You had to get him something and it didn't work out. Whatever the case may be, right? So suddenly it's like you have to take a step back because you haven't aligned yourself with whatever the result was supposed to be. And it could create that energy where it feels like, you're disappointed and people are disappointed in you because of that. But you have to be kind to yourself in order to refocus, in order to put yourself back into that period where you have the level of confidence to move to the next step. And that really is embracing the journey. That's how you allow yourself to fail. That's how you allow yourself to grow, to learn from these failures. You need to be kind to yourself. And embracing the journey comes next. There is no need to put yourself in a position or into something that you don't have true and genuine purpose for. And I mean, we talked about that in the last video. That really is what your actions should be guided by, your purpose, generally, of course. I mean, again, we have our facets of interest, and these things are just fillers for life to create the interest of life and to create, memories. But at the end of the day, your focus, your purpose should be your focus, and your focus should be your purpose. And that's just what it is all the time. And so embracing the journey is really going to be you just putting yourself in that point where you know that, hey, this is the contract that I've bargained for. Just like, applying for a job, you go over to the job, and this happens all the time. You get a job, you read the contract, they told you exactly what was going to happen. It might have seemed inhumane in some way or form. I mean, you probably needed the money. The point is, you took the job, right? And so you had to go in alignment with the contract. When you make a promise to yourself, or you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, and I'm really serious about it, that's you signing a contract with yourself. That's you putting yourself on a level where, hey, you're telling yourself that you're going to do something and you're going to hold yourself accountable. Accountability is super important for anyone who's on the rise to success, whatever that may be, right? You need to be accountable. Self-accountability, absolutely necessary, right? You have to tell yourself, hey, I'm making this duty to myself. I'm putting myself on a position where I'm signing this contract internally, mentally. You could even try writing it down. Try writing it down, draw the contract up, whatever you said you want to do for yourself. And I hereby say that I'm going to do this, right? Hold yourself accountable in some way or form, whatever works for you. But you need to understand that at the end of the day, embracing the journey has a lot to do with you saying that I have selected this duty, I have selected this purpose to myself, and I am going to take whatever comes with it, right? That's how you embrace the journey. You're going to ensure that even if you wake up and it's a bad day, that is still your bad day. And that bad day has something to do with a better day. And you're just going to piece it all together with whichever formula that you choose to piece it together with. And that leads to, of course, self-maintenance and focus. When you reach that point where you've embraced the journey and you realize that this is what I've signed up for, there must be a focus aligned with that. The reason for that is it's so easy to get distracted. That's the main purpose of us not making our duties solid. It's because we figure them out, we get to that point, we sometimes start and then we stop because there is no focus maintenance. The only way you could have focus maintenance is by creating an ecosystem of habits, positive habits, that can adhere to whatever goal it is that you're trying to accomplish. That's the only way. You need to have things in place for you as combatants, or these guys that are going to come through when the ninjas of distraction hit you. You're going to have these habits, that ecosystem of habits together that will align you with doing things that will allow you to maintain your focus. It's so easy to get distracted. You have the internet, you have people around you. And again, we're talking about navigating that lonely in between. At that point, a lot of people are going to be coming and going in and out of your life. Mainly, again, because you're redefining yourself. And so you're readjusting with the personnel required for you to put yourself into this space. And that's generally what you're going to do. So you need to have these habits set in place that are just solidified to your, your liking, and of course to your benefit more so. That will breed a series of positive results that will again align with whatever goals it is that you're trying to accomplish. That will bring you to that point where this lonely in between is slowly coming to an end. Slowly but surely, you're coming to that point where you have created somewhat of a balance with you kind of being lost about the fact that you're elevating into this space, and you're grooming yourself into that process. And that's what the habits generally are. So it can stem from many things, be it physical, spiritual, psychological. You do whatever it takes for you. So you start playing sports, you start working out, you start reading books, you start doing things that are good for you. You start doing positive actions, actual actions, not just saying, I really feel that I'm on this route, and then I'm really doing this. I really want to do it. You're still just talking because you haven't done it yet. And it's okay to talk. It really is okay to talk, because again, the power of the tongue, if you know this, manifestation in itself is absolutely necessary for the tongue to be involved at some point. Of course, whether it may be in writing or being said or spoken word, is even more powerful because of the sound frequencies. But at the end of the day, you have to align yourself with being able to do things that could breed positive results for you that are in alignment with your goals and your purpose. And that leaves me to basically the last part of how you're going to navigate through this lonely in between. Because it doesn't stay lonely forever, guys. Hooray! That's the bright idea. It doesn't stay lonely forever, because you're coursing through this experience. And of course, like we said in the other video, there would be no purpose without people, right? There would be no you without me, that kind of thing. So at the end of the day, what you need to do now is seek like-minded communities. That's what you do. All of these people who are in your life right now, who are in absolutely no way providing some form of a vessel of investment in the quality of your experience, you have to get rid of them. That's just point blank what it is. And then when I say get rid of them, guys, I'm not saying this in a way to make it sound like you're gonna become a snob, or you become someone who doesn't remember where you came from, so to speak, because you need to. There's a lot that comes with this, and we can go deeper into that. But at the end of the day, you need to bring yourself to a point where you're valuing the energies that are coming from other people, because they're valuing yours. And the only way you could do that is by investing yourself and your time into embracing like-minded communities. And that starts from having a friend who talks about the things you talk about, who has the same aspirations as you, or similar aspirations as you, or who is aspiring to begin with. That starts from there. It starts from talking to a coworker who might have a bright idea, something that you might be able to digest and replenish some form of information from, that could really allow you to grow in some way or form, that comes in line with you putting yourself in a space of work or in a space of recreation that has communities or things that you could connect with. And of course, these like-minded communities are, or will be, the people or the movement that will get you out of that lonely in between, right? Between you aspiring, finding out, having this revelation, and truly aspiring, or reaching that point of beginning to aspire to your goals and to success. So of course, it's not going to be easy to do that, because sometimes you're the new kid on the block. Sometimes people don't know you to be that guy. They probably don't know you to be that girl. They don't know you to be that person who wants better for themselves. And of course, that's why the lonely in between started. But it's funny how this lonely in between really paradoxically creates a plethora of connections for you. Things to people that really, really, truly have a genuine love for whatever it is that they're doing, and realize that you also do have that love for whatever it is that you're doing. And that's the way you're going to connect with people. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same industry or the same specimen of information that you guys are really trying to bring out. But the point of it is that you're trying to emanate being impactful. That's what you're trying to do. And then like-minded people will always find you, and you will always find them. It's like a gravitational pull. We must find each other kind of situation, because hey, this guy is doing the same thing that I'm thinking of, or he just said something that I thought of yesterday, or he just said something that I'm thinking of right now. And then you're thinking of it right now because you're hearing it and you appreciate it, and that's why you feel that, hey, maybe I can connect with this person or that person. So I mean, at the end of the day, it really boils down to 5 things. You firstly have some introspective care, right? Be kind to yourself. That's it. You start with that. You move along to embracing that journey. Accept what you have accepted for yourself. That's the only way. You then, of course, maintain the focus. You know, again, create that ecosystem of habits that could allow you to blossom into this person who is really and truly has this unwavering sense of confidence and access to what it is that he or she wants. Make sure you reflect and realign yourself. It's absolutely necessary to reflect and realign yourself. And of course, you find these like-minded communities where you could truly blossom into who it is that you want to be. And this is going to work for you guys. I'm telling you. It's a process, because you might say, Michael, but are you doing it? That's the thing about people. You know, you say something and they're like, well, the speaker, the person, are you doing it? Well, that's not always the case. Because you hear the preacher speak and he's not doing it. And you hear the teacher speak and they're not doing it. And a lot of people just say something and they're not doing it. Don't worry about who's saying it. Worry about the message. Focus on the message. Focus on what is being said to you rather than who is saying it to you. And then you will understand that we're a lot more alike than you might think. And we're all on this journey together in some way or form. And that really is what it's about. So you're going to hit these objectives in one way or another. Of course, that's left up to you. It's left up to the individual. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Of course, thanks for coming. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment, because we need these.